And our final item tonight is the Transportation Board. I'm going to go ahead now and call to order the Transportation Board, and we do have a quorum present. And our first item is to approve the minutes of the March 2nd, 2021 Transportation Board meeting. If there are no additions or corrections, may I have a motion, please?
I move to approve the minutes.
Is that by Aaron?
Second.
Second by Karen. Please vote. The minutes are approved 7-0. We have at this time a citizens forum, and at this time, any person with business before the board not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the board. No formal action can be taken on those items at this meeting. Yes, also, if we have anybody that is calling in or on their computer that wishes to say anything.
No, there are no virtual speakers.
Okay, having no one come forward, we will go ahead down to our next item. And the next item is the consideration of an amendment to the section 15-35 maximum speed limits on Josie Lane, establishing the speed limit of 50 miles an hour from 1,900 feet south of State Highway 121 to the south city limits, and make a recommendation to the City Council regarding the amendment.
Good evening, Commissioners. Josie Lane is a 6-lane roadway. The section of Josie Lane shown in green in the location map, which is roughly 1,900 feet south of the toll road to the south city limits with Carrollton, has been relatively recently annexed by the city of Louisville. And so staff conducted speed studies on that segment, and the 85th percentile speed from the speed study was 54 miles per hour, suggesting a posted speed limit of either 50 miles per hour or 55 miles per hour, the nearest speed limit to the 85th percentile. Staff is recommending posting a speed limit of 50 miles per hour for the following reasons. To be consistent, the speed limit to be consistent with the segments to the north and south. The segment to the north from State Highway 121 to just south of Windhaven Parkway is currently posted at 50 miles per hour. And also the southern segment shown in blue, which is in Carrollton, is also posted at 50 miles per hour. The second reason is LISD is building an elementary school on Josie Lane within that segment, which is scheduled to open in the 2021-22 school year. They also have future plans to build a middle school on the east side of Josie Lane. There are also 3 new subdivisions, Lakewood Hills subdivisions, that have been built in the recent, in the past few years, which generates some pedestrian traffic. For those reasons, staff is recommending posting a speed limit of 50 miles per hour on Josie Lane.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion or questions for Sagar? Okay, if not, may I have a motion on this item, please?
Move to approve.
Motion by Karen,
Second.
second by Sheila. Please vote. When recommendation to the City Council passes from a vote of 7-0. The next item for consideration is the consideration of an amendment to section 15-36, maximum speed limits near schools of the Louisville City Code, to establish a school speed zone on Josie Lane from 500 feet north of the Memorial Elementary School driveway to 500 feet south of Lake Falls Terrace, and make a recommendation to the city council regarding the amendment.
The Louisville Independent School District is currently constructing an elementary school on the west side of Josie Lane called Memorial Elementary School. It is scheduled to open for the in August of 2021 for the upcoming school year, and that generates the need for establish a school zone along Josie Lane. Because and the school zone, the speed limit for the school zone would be 35 miles per hour instead of the typically the school zone is posted at 20 miles per hour, but here it would be 35. And the reason is because the speed limit on Josie Lane is so high at 50 miles per hour. We're only allowed a decrease of 15 miles per hour by the state regulations. So from that's why it would be 35 miles per hour, and that would be consistent with what's on FM 544 for the Killian Middle School, which is the same. The speed limit is 50 miles per hour. The posted speed, the school zone speed limit is 35. Another similar situation is the one on FM 3040 for the Hebron High, which is at 35 as well. The staff is recommending the school zone speed limit of 35 miles per hour to be established for the elementary school.
So you're saying that by state law, we can't make it less than 35?
Yes, ma'am. So we can only go to 35. The only way we can make it less is, by extending the school zone. Typically, if you drive through rural drive on highways in rural areas in Texas, and where they do a staged reduction, the speed limit is 60 and they go down to 40 and 30.
Okay.
So that's what we would have to do, but that would make the school zone really long.
It worries me a little bit because it's an elementary school, but I understand.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to go on record to say that I agree with you. I cringed a little bit to think it's an elementary school with such a high speed limit as its I guess minimum, especially, and I know it was compared to another school, but that was a high school. I'm assuming the Hebron High School that was mentioned, and it's
Hebron
kindergarten. So as somebody with a child leaving elementary school, it gives me pause. But I guess if that's all we can do, that's all we can do.
Hebron is a high school on 3040. The middle school on FM 544, it is a middle school, Killian Middle School. And we are, in Texas, we have to set the speed limit per the 85th percentile study. And then
I did have a question for you. For the other elementary schools in the area, what are the speed limits for those? Or do you have an average of any elementary schools that are close? Are they at 35 already?
The other elementary schools along Josie Lane, ma'am?
Yes.
I have to look into that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, there any other?
I wanted to say, ask a question. Has anybody done any studies as to how long it'll take a vehicle to go from 50 miles an hour to that 35, the speed limit? In the event that there is a child who is walking through that Josie Lane Road, I too am a little afraid that we're going to have elementary kids crossing that Josie Lane main road.
I do want to state that there is a traffic light proposed at the intersection of Josie Lane and the elementary school driveway. So the intersection is going to be controlled by a traffic light. So there's going to be a pedestrian signal for the pedestrians to push, which would make it as a traffic light stop would make it a safer crossing.
Ideally, we will also have a traffic control person who will be helping the children across the street, ideally.
Yes, LISD typically has a school crossing guard, which is administered by our police department to ensure a safe crossing. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I had one other thing to mention. I guess the result of a vote against this means we don't have any school zone speed limit. Is that correct? There won't be a school zone. if I vote
If you
no for
vote
this?
against it.
Okay.
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any more comments, questions? Okay, then may I have a motion, please?
Move to recommend approval to city council.
Motion by Aram,
Second.
second by Karen. Please vote. And the vote passes 7-0. And our final item tonight is adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn the Transportation Board meeting, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Francis.
Second.
Second by Alvin. Please vote. We are adjourned 7-0.